And here we are in CastleRock. This is a place where we used to come as kids, and we have a friend of my father's who lived up there in those big houses. Where are we? Where's my thumb? That one there. That's the Hans's house. He was my English teacher. And this is the way down to the beach. A scene of many family picnics where we would come and spend the day by the sea. It was usually on a better day than today, it has to be said. And we have the first of the blackberries coming through as we come down through the sandhills past the ragwort, I think that is, the yellow stuff, and onto the sand. Bit bumpy. And this is CastleRock Beach. Not the biggest beach we have in the area, but one of the most popular because it's quite easy to get to. And of all the houses that we've come across, Valerie would love to live in that one. I must admit I would too, because it's right beside, and you can still see the shelters on the rocks. There used to be a paddling pool, a natural rock pool, where you could go and learn to swim. I see somebody has a windbreak up. It is quite windy today. And of course there's the ever-present little stream, which could be dammed by many generations of children. And I see somebody has had a go recently. There is an old dam evident. I can remember Niall and I, when we were little, when he was little, I was never little, building dams like this on this very beach with soggy tomato sandwiches and cheesy Watsons. I'm not quite sure if it was a dam. It's become stepping stones, which is very useful because I'm wearing Crocs. There we go. Oh, a bit blowy. As you can see, it's called the Shell Pool. And they've put up a nice shelter for people to sit at and get changed if they're going swimming, which today would be, I would say, probably quite chilly. Ooh, bumpity bump. There we go. Ooh. And if you sit down, that's the view out over the sea. There's the Coast Guards making sure everybody's safe. And a good Northern Ireland summer sky. It's not raining, but it's about to. And you'll probably recognise the pool there, as it was perhaps a little earlier than we were there. We were never Victorians, although I would quite have liked to wear a stovepipe hat, and maybe I will yet do so. Down to the rocks, good old black Giant's Causeway basalt, not columnar like the Giant's Causeway. I believe it's called pillow lava. I'm sure Mike can verify that. Oh, up we go. And sadly, this is all that's left of the pool. A lot of sand. There used to be right the way through the other side and down here. Ooh. I would now be up to my chest in water if it was in the 60s. And the tide's quite far out today. Normally it would be coming right the way up over these rocks. I'm going to go down this way because I'm not in my climbing shoes. And up there, those houses, if you remember, that's where the CastleRock swimming pool used to be. The proper Borough Council one. That lasted about 20 years. It was outside and heated, and was, in my youth, a place to go to meet young ladies. Young ladies who were wearing bikinis. Hold on a second, I'm just doing my zip up. Sorry about that. It was a bit cooler than I thought it was. And there we have in the showing, which isn't quite the most northerly point, but Malin Head, which we can see occasionally behind it, isn't visible today. And just a little bit of odd nonsense. The lumpy bit, sort of 3/4 of the way down, is called Schnacht. And it's a lovely walk out round the point and then back over Schnacht and down into Greencastle. And walk down towards the sea. Need to be careful because I'm wearing Crocs and I don't want to get wet feet. It's quite a good day today for surfing. I'm surprised there aren't more people out. And that's all the way over to McGilligan Point. And that is called Black Hill, which is the Black Hill above, what do you call it, the Black Glen, just before Mussenden. Over in the distance there we have Port Stewart, the Barmouth where the Ban hits the sea. Not that you would remember, a really good place to go fishing. Dad and I used to go down there of an evening and try and catch mackerel or coalfish. Actually, there's not as many people on the beach as I thought there would be for a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Mind you, it is a bit blowy, and look at that sky. It's rain is not far off, I would say. And there we have some people in surfing. Yay! Derek McMaster and I used to come down here with our canoes and go canoeing in there. I'm glad to see the Borough Council have been down and the beach is nice and tidy. They were raking it a couple of days ago to get all the crap that people leave behind off, and the beach is now just sand and the occasional shell. It's not a very stony beach, but we do have shells, and since I don't have a stone, I'll have to wait for a wave to come in to give me a bit of water to throw it into. Run. Ah, wet socks. There we are. A little wish sent out to the North Atlantic. Actually, looking at the waves, I'm glad I'm not on a ferry just now. It's a bit bumpy and lumpy. If I do a 360 from the sea, there's the Coast Guards. And round and about. Always good to do a 360 when you're at the beach. You never know what's going on behind you. You know, if I was 40 years younger, I might decide to go and be a lifeguard, because you get to have one of those. Ooh, that would be good. And surfboards and all sorts of things. And you get a nice orange suit. Oh, crossing the river. This time with no stepping stones. Ooh. Oh, and he gets a quad, and he gets paid to run around the beach in an orange jumpsuit on a quad, and if necessary go out in a jet ski. I mean to say, they pay him. Oh. And obviously enjoys doing donuts on his quad as well. And there's the posts you can just make out that delineate the bit of the beach, if you remember, from the cars go on one side and no cars on the other. And when the McMasters had a caravan in Benoan, we used to go down to Benoan and charge £1 for people who got stuck in the sand. By the end of the day we would have like £10-15 which we would spend on ice creams and sweeties. Those were the days. If I zoom in a little, where are we? see the lighthouse at the end of the bar mouth. And the waves breaking over. I don't think I'll be going out there today, even with the tide being low. There are people out walking their dogs, and I see what looks like a black Labrador in the distance. Up there's guys near the kiddies camp. Can't remember if it was girl guides or not. I think it might have been. You'll know better than me, being a brownie and a guide. Behind that, the golf course, which will thankfully never be bought by Trump. A bucket, a solitary forgotten bucket, full of sand. Obviously that was a case of Mummy and Daddy said, come, we're going home. And we were just in the process of making the castle to end all castles. There's some chuffs. Sea crows. Oh, and a hooded crow as well. There's some rubbish people have left. That's what they're interested in. Back up through the soft sand, which is notorious for catching cars. This is a new thing they didn't have when we were wee. They have showers at the beach for getting sand off your feet and out of the various crevices that sand gets into that you didn't know you had. Now, this is the road. There is concrete underneath that, but it never stays out for long. And there's the dividing line posts between cars and no cars, going out down to the sea. Some fishermen. Sure. And underneath this big pile of sand, there used to be a beach shed, I seem to remember. Black stone with an asbestos top. But it's gone now. Taken over by the sandhills. Oh no, there's a little bit of it sticking out over there. Yeah, still there, albeit just a corner. And there used to be a roof that came up and it went down onto the concrete and you just sit in it and wait for the rain to pass. More ragwort. Poisonous to foraging animals like cows and that, but supposedly quite good for human ailments, I'm told. And what video would not be complete without picnic tables? And of course, the public toilet. That's in there especially for Ruth. I know how much she likes investigating toilets. Oh, there's a helicopter. And there's a new coffee shop. Always crowded over there, which will also do you a very nice crab sandwich. Another shot of the toilets. Always fancied one of those wee houses. That'd be nice to live in there. Come out in the morning, have your coffee, looking out to sea. That'd be rather smart. I'm not allowed ice cream unless Valerie's here to supervise me. Yeah, that looks fairly new. I've put that up recently. Huh. There you go. A little bit of information. And along the wiggly wall. Oh, see buckthorn. Makes very nice champagne, I'm told. I think that might be gentian. A fairy thorn in the middle of the sandhills. A little dog rose planted all along the edge here, probably from the downhill side of things. They have a lot of dog roses planted. I do like this wiggly wall. I think straight walls are terribly boring. A wiggly wall is much more satisfying. And more yellow ragwort and a dandelion. Ooh, lots of dandelions. And there we are, back at the car. Anyway, lots of love.